Welcome back to HQ. We've talked plenty of NFL, college football. You didn't think we were going to forget about high school football, did you? Not a chance, and you know what, that we were going to do that. Andrew Ivins, the director of 24/7 Sports Scouting, is joining us now. And Andrew, the action was in Fort Lauderdale. You had 3 premier matchups. You had plenty of 4 stars, 5 stars out there playing on some really quality teams. Let's start off with a guy with a lot of shine on him, and that's Dia Bell, and a wild comeback on Friday night. How does that project to his future as a Texas Longhorn?
Well, this is what you wanted to see. It was a gut check type of performance. And you think about Dia Bell, a kid that was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the Sunshine State last year. He wins the MVP of the Elite 11 Finals, the nation's premier quarterback competition over the summer months, right? First game of his senior season, he looks up at halftime. His team's down 4 touchdowns. He's turned the ball over twice. He doesn't have his top 2 wide receivers. And what does he do? He rallies the troops on national television and scores 31 unanswered points to pick up a victory. Dia Bell now moves to 20-4 as a starter. Again, I just think it was so much pressure on Dia Bell, and you want to see it with these high-profile quarterback prospects. Can they be the catalyst? Can they be the difference maker? And Dia Bell, the stat line, you're going to look at it. Nothing too exciting. 19 of 34, 234 yards and just 1 touchdown. But he made timely throws at the right moment. He was athletic. He extended plays with his legs. So for Dia Bell, this is certainly a step in the right direction. And American Heritage, you know, it's a program, a high school that has sent a ton of guys to the NFL. But this year they seem to be a little bit down besides the guy under quarterback. And they have one of the most difficult schedules in the country. They're going to face 4 more teams that are nationally ranked. So Dia Bell looked good. And I think if you're a Texas fan, you have to be excited about what's coming after Arch Manning.
One team that is not down at all, and that's Mater Dei, the #1 team in the country, 3 top-flight class of 2026 guys in action. That includes #1 tight end and USC commit Mark Bowman, Ohio State committed wideout Chris Henry Jr., and Caden Dixon-Wyatt. What did you see from all 3 of those guys?
I think Chris Henry is kind of the story of the weekend. Man, Ohio State, the Buckeyes, they just keep reloading at the wide receiver position. And Chris Henry's a kid we have loved throughout the evaluation process, but he missed pretty much all of his junior season with a knee injury. He played less than 50 snaps. Had just 10 targets. We've been waiting and waiting and waiting to see what Chris Henry is going to be able to do. Well, he was awesome in the first half on Saturday. 4 catches, over 120 yards, and 2 touchdowns. We're talking about a kid that is 6'5", 200 pounds, excellent in 50-50 situations. He reminds me of Keon Coleman, who's with the Buffalo Bills. So this is a kid that's not a 5-star prospect for us right now, but he certainly made the case that, hey, when we finalize our rankings in January, he should have a 5th star next to his name. And if that is the case, it would be the 4th year in a row that Ohio State has signed a 5-star wide receiver. Everyone knows Jeremiah Smith. They've added Carnell Tate, Quincy Porter last cycle. They just continue to reload. I also got to give a shout out to Mark Bowman, #1 ranked tight end for us in the class of 2025. This is a kid that is reclassified. He was originally in the class of 2026. You know, you don't see him get a ton of targets because that Mater Dei offense, it's got a ton of mouths to feed. But man, I think this guy is elite. I think he is the best tight end to come out of the high school ranks, maybe since Brock Bowers, and I think he might be one of the top offensive prospects in the 2025 cycle. He does the dirty work, right? He blocks. He's a guy that's on punt coverage. He is awesome, and I think pretty soon he is going to be one of the highest paid tight ends in all of college football.
Wow, Brock Bowers, that is some high praise. That is the ultimate comp right now for recent tight ends in the sport. How about elite edge rusher Zion Elee? He's with St. Francis Academy. They took on Chaminade Madonna. How did he look? How did he end up winding up at Maryland? No knock on the Terps, but we don't normally see Maryland top the 5-star list, if you will.
Well, Mike, St. Francis Academy, I have never seen a defensive performance like I saw on Saturday night. These guys got off the bus on a mission, and they just took it to Chaminade Madonna Prep, a team that always is winning state titles down in the Sunshine State. They were fast, they were physical, they were aggressive, and they were led by Zion Elee, 5-star edge rusher. This is a kid that everyone in the country wanted, but Mike Loxley in Maryland, they built a relationship very early in the recruiting process. And if you want to talk about the new new age of college football with the revenue share, the name, image, and likeness. Let's not forget, Maryland's an Under Armour school. Under Armour is based out of Baltimore. St. Francis Academy is right around the corner. And these packages, the compensation, you can kind of tailor some deals towards these athletes. You still have to recruit the kid. In Maryland, Mike Loxley, Loxley was hired because of his relationships in the DMV, and they did an excellent job there. Elee on Saturday night, man, explosive takeoffs, consistently gets to the quarterback. Still, I think it's going to be a recruitment of track here over the next few months. All these kids have made their decisions, but as we get into November, a little bit closer to that early signing period, a lot of schools are going to be trying to pry Zion Elee away from Maryland. It'll be interesting to see, what it looks like on the field for the Terps in 2025.
Would be a great pickup for the Terps, no doubt, if they can hold on. How about his teammate? You got five-star Alabama commit Jireh Edwards. What did you see from him in this matchup?
I love this kid. He's, I think, one of the top defensive prospects in the 2026 cycle. I think he is Malachi Starks. He's a safety that can do a little bit of everything, just like all the other St. Francis kids. He's super physical, excellent tackler in space. That's so important when we talk about these defensive back prospects. Think about it. In college these days, there's such limited time for these guys to actually work on tackling, so you want to see him do it on Friday nights. That is Jireh Edwards. And then him in coverage. He was matched up with Florida State wide receiver commit Jason Lopez there in the slot. Kind of put him in a box throughout the game. Alabama, Kalen DeBoer, everyone was wondering what it would look like, but man, their defensive class here in 2026. We love Jireh Edwards. We also love five-star linebacker Xavier Griffin. He has started off his senior season really well. Nick Saban is gone, but defensive talent, future NFL players still coming to Tuscaloosa.
It's funny, Andrew, all the changes in college football now with the House settlements, salary caps, and NIL and the portal. The rich still get richer. It seems like we're talking about the same schools landing the same amount of 5 stars, no doubt. Always appreciate the time, Andrew. Thank you so much. And you can catch all of Andrew's work at 24/7 Sports, recruiting rankings, wall-to-wall team coverage, and, of course, updates on that transfer portal.